Our recordings begin. How's everybody doing? I'm United with Nexus Investments LLC. And today's topic is we're going to go over our new flow that we incorporate into the group called Nexus Flowbot. And I just want to go over a little bit about how it works. And I'm going to take a new share to share the screen. Okay. So at this time, you guys should be seeing the Discord, I believe. See new share Discord. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
all.
everybody can see the Nexus Flowbot, right? Can everybody see it? Anybody?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
All right.
we also,
So if you use the flow, you'll see that it actually posts around every 30 seconds. And I work with a programmer to get this programmed into the Discord. And basically it pulls from the web page and it posts here every 30 seconds. So there's a little bit of delay. Also, I'm running into issues where sometimes the bot corrupts, the program corrupts on my system. So I have to restart it. I'm looking at adding this bot to a server. That way, if it ever goes down, someone can let me know, and I'll log onto the server and restart it. So
is it picking stocks from a list or is it just random stocks?
So it is not. So the way we program this is that it's only bringing in. So there's mass amounts of flow coming more than what you see here. So if you think this is a lot of flow, it's not even nothing compared to what's actually coming in. The only data that you're receiving is the most bullish golden and purple sweeps. Data is coming in here. That means that's the most volume that you're getting, most amount of purchases from the institutional investors are coming in here. So this is all valuable data coming in here. Yeah. And if I were to, program it to where everything came in, I mean, this thing would just be going nonstop.
Yeah.
So if you don't use it or you don't prefer to use it, then you could just mute it. But it's very valuable as everything coming in here can be a potential move up or down. Now, what I gather from using this for months is that when you're dealing with the flow, sometimes it reacts right away on the charts, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it takes some time. Most of the flow that comes in here is SPY, and sometimes you'll see some big other indexes like QQQ and IWM, but you just got to take the time to learn how it is. Now, just familiar yourself with it. The whole layout of the flow is that you'll provide it with a ticker, which is, say, here's SPY. Then, so this whole contract is what the institutional investor purchased. And there's two types of contracts that can be purchased at the speeds. And I'll get that at. But here you have SPY as the ticker. The expiration is the expiration they purchased at. So they purchased a March 25th, 2020 SPY. Then the next tab is the strike price they purchased at. They purchased the 215 strike price. Then it's the contract type, which is a put. Now, this is right here is what the price was at SPY at the time they bought it. So the time they purchased this SPY put contract, the current price is 221.92. And they purchased the 215 strike saying that SPY is going to head down by March 25th. And then here's the details of the contract they purchased at. They purchased 500 SPY put contracts at $3.99. Now, you know what the option is. You got to multiply that by 100. So it's $3.99 times 100. So, and then the premium they paid in total was $199.5 thousand. So roughly 200 grand they spent for this particular contract. And this was the time of the IV at the time, which right now all our IV implied volatility is very high. Now this right here is very important. The type. There's two types of contracts. You can see here you have a sweep and you have a block. So golden sweeps are basically the institutional investor reached out to a broker. Was like, hey, I want to purchase 500 SPY puts at $200,000. And if it's a sweep, basically he's saying, hey, I want it now. And I don't care what exchange you get it from, because there's multiple exchanges you can purchase contracts on. So the broker takes in the contract, takes in the money, and he just market buys whatever he can across all exchanges right away. So that sends out like a post to everybody saying, hey, this institutional investor is like sweeping the market, basically sweeping the market, saying, hey, I want this and I want it now. Basically like a whiny little baby, so to speak. But blocks are saying, hey, I'm blocking out this contract, and I'm getting into this contract with one particular broker on one particular exchange. And basically it's like a planned trade, a planned entry. So it's basically, he's not desperate to get into the call. He's planning this out on one exchange with one broker, and he's saying, hey, this is what I want only on this exchange. However long it takes you to do it, that's fine. So, and that's how you read flow. Now, other things I look at, because although I sift through this so that you're only getting all the golden sweeps, it doesn't mean that follow every single one of these calls. What you're trying to do is find the majority of what is being called. So if we go to like the beginning of the day, actually we won't scroll to the beginning of the day because I'll be scrolling forever. We'll say right here, this is 1:27 p.m. to me. So Eastern time, that's 3:27 p.m. So the last 30 minutes, you could see a lot of Apple call come in at 300,000. And what I'm looking for when I'm deciding whether I want to hop in something is a big flow. Anything over like 500,000 to like 1 million that an institutional investor paid for, that's what I'm looking to get into. Apple at 300,000 is actually pretty good. So you would consider that. Now, the first thing I'm looking for is how much the contract is, and then there's a lot of it. So I see Apple, I see Square, SPY, USO, I see ZM for Zoom, but here's some more Apple. I see some other Apple come in, and I see more Apple come in. But see here, now the next thing I'm looking for is, what's the quantity of the ticker? Is there a lot of it? And what's the majority of the contract type? Is it a call or put? So you can see this was a call, and then this here after was a put, then later it was a put, 30 seconds later it was another put. So what's that tell you? That one institutional investor is saying how I think it's going to go up, another one saying it's going to go down. So they're kind of clashing. So then, what I would do is look at the charts on Apple to see where the Apple price is moving at the time on the charts. And I'll go over and show like an example later on what, if anything, actually happened within the last 30 minutes. Another thing I look for after looking at the price they paid, then I look at multiple types of Apples without the calls to show that there's an influx of institutional investors just following each other into a trade. If a bunch of institutional investors follow each other into a trade, that means you might see a lot of volume coming into Apple. Therefore, volume precedes price. You see a lot of price action coming in, and that's why you see a quick spike in the price. And that's why you see, if we're on voice chat with Cumstead and Jack, if you see us that, hey, we see a lot of flow coming in, we're going to hop in this price. Basically, we're seeing if the institutional investors are going to start flowing into here. Like, for instance, Roku was a real profitable one. We got out a little bit early because we're scalping, but ended up dipping a little bit and is rallying for the rest of the day. So that's basically what we're looking for on when you're finding plays. Now, another thing for flow I'm looking for is the expiration date. Because just because the institutional investors are buying these contracts doesn't mean that they're buying the contracts for the price to move right away. As you can see, Apple here has a July expiration date. So these type of traders here are swing traders, and they're just projecting that by the time July comes, that they're going to be making a lot of money off these Apple. And the strike price is 245. So they're expecting Apple to be above 245 by July 17th. And the current price of Apple is 223. So they're actually buying out of the money calls right now, expecting the price to be at a certain level by July. So that's how you read options. So necessarily you won't hop into Apple expecting an immediate run up same day, right? You have to be willing to swing these if you're buying the July. Now, go down here to Square. You can see right here that this institutional investor, or multiple of two different ones, this guy spent 28,000 on Square puts. This investor here spent 154,000 on Square puts, and there were sweeps. So sweeps mean, hey, I want this now. Probably because they've seen each other. There might be some Square flow before, but hey, this investor said, hey, I want the sweep. I want it now. Hurry up. This investor came in right after. Was like, hey, man, I want Square puts too. Hurry up. Everybody's doing it. So that's what the sweep means. So then you got to go to Square and check it out. Now, the 327 expiration is this week. That's Friday. So what's that tell you? That they expect the price to be below 35, and this investor expects the price to be below 42. So I would take this contract and I would say, hey, Square's looking like it's going to go down by Friday, and it's going to be a fast move. And here's another one down here at 41,000. So as soon as I dissect this contract and I figure, hey, this is a now move, I'm going to redirect you over to my charts. All right. Now I immediately come here. I'll type in Square, okay? And at the time for this was 1:30 p.m. So we're going to do a replay back to 1:30 p.m. I got to change my time zone. Yeah. Okay. So 1:30 p.m. is here. Okay, we're going to move to the 1 minute chart. So we're in replay mode right now. So at 1:30 p.m., you seen that a bunch of Square puts came in. We're here at the 1 minute chart doing a replay. And then you can see if we had any kind of action. Now they said puts. At the time of the puts came in, this is actually a minute before it comes in. The price was sitting at, let's see, 39.15. Yeah, 39.15 was the current price. So if you let this play out, so you can see what happened here. All right, these are after hours. When you get to the shaded area, this is after hours data. This is what's happening. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pause it. So you can see at 1:30 p.m. is when the flow came in here for Apple puts. So that's when flow came in. And as you can see, that flow didn't work, did it? Those Square puts, it didn't work today. So those institutional investors that bet on Square being below 35 and below 42, well, the one that has a strike price of 42 is still in the money, but obviously he's down, because even though you're in the money, you can still be down on your contract because you bought way down here. So hopefully for their sakes that the price of Square drops below their entry, which is right here. All right, let's go to the beginning. Let me see if I can scroll to find Roku this morning. If anybody has any questions, you can just unmute your mic and chime in. Basically, what we're doing here is just showing you how to read the flow that's coming in and how to check the charts first to make sure this is what you want to do.
Do we have access to these charts? Well, the charting?
So the charting here, you can subscribe to tradingview.com, and it's a free account. And if you want to use TradingView, this is it right here. You can use it. And you got to get your own account, and you could chart this yourself. Now, if you have a TD Ameritrade account, they have a platform that they have called Thinkorswim, or an abbreviation is TOS, as we would say in the Jack group. If you register for a TD Ameritrade account, you get the TOS platform for free, and you don't have to pay for any features. Here you get start off at with TradingView. You start off at a free account. Then of course you unlock more capabilities as you pay for the subscriptions on here. All right, so we're gonna go back to our flow bot. Okay, when the market first started opening, we had some flow coming in, and I was just kind of watching it. Now, what I like to do is wait 15 minutes before I make any trades, unless you are like you're a scalper and you're experienced at buying right away out the gate. You know, as soon as it starts, then you might want to wait 15 minutes or 20 minutes before you buy into anything. So we're gonna look for Roku. So we got a Roku call coming in here at 50,000, but I don't think that's the one that did it. It might have been. Let me look. Yeah, I think that was it. The one at 750. Okay. So basically, after 15 minutes, I was looking for a play to get in. So this is the one, Roku, I seen. And then I seen 327, which is March 27th. So I knew that this had to move quick. Okay. Then you had an 835 call, and they bought for 50,000. So I immediately went over to my charts. I'm going to switch you to the charts. And we go to Roku. And go into the beginning of the day. So I immediately brought my Roku chart. So after 15 minutes, when was 15 minutes? 15 minutes was here. Okay. And then I got into Roku when the flow came out at 7:57. So we'll just say right here at this point. This is when we were talking about it in the group chat, in the voice chat. And then we waited for a little bit, and I remember then it started spiking, and we all got excited. And it spiked like a little more, and I just sold because I'm a scalper. I sold right away and took my profit. It was like, what, $360 profits? And that trade lasted all of about, 8 to 9 minutes. So if you like quick trading, that's what we did. And then it went up even higher. But at that time, I sent the message to the group for those who don't get in voice chat to go ahead and sell and take profits. Now, the advantages and disadvantages of voice chat, if you can get a voice chat, I will recommend it because voice chat, you can hear us planning out trades. You can hear us talking about flow. We go to the charts. We're talking about, is it a good entry at the time? And then we enter into it. And I enter the trade. Then I take a snapshot of it. And then I post it to the group. So by the time you see it, 30 seconds to like 1 minute already went by, So sometimes it's a missed opportunity to gain a little bit more profits. Everybody's profits are going to be different than others.
How do we get into the voice chat?
Say it again.
How do we get into the voice chat?
If you just go to here, I'll just screen share back to the voice chat. So if you don't know where the voice chat is, if you just go to the category chat rooms and you scroll down to the bottom under general questions, you'll see serious voice trading and you'll see hangout voice trading. We start off in the morning with the serious voice trading because everybody else is muted with the exception of the moderators who can talk. And then we're all of us are talking out trades and everybody else is listening in. And then when we said, hey, this is what trade we're getting to. We're getting to the Roku. We're getting to Roku March 27th. Strike price this, 80 call. And it costs you $650 for each one. And we're in. People on voice chat can get in right away, already looking for the contract. Or as we're talking about it, they can already be looking at the contract on their phone or on the computer. But those who are on text, it's going to take some time to get it because I believe that I shouldn't give out trades if I'm not willing to get into it myself, right?
Fair enough. Question is are any members allowed to? So I was just looking under what you just told me on the chat rooms. Is any member allowed to go into the voice chat?
Every member can access the voice chat.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, all you have to do is just click on it, and you're automatically in there. And then if you want to disconnect, you just press the disconnect button.
All right, sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, you can even get with other people. You can see someone probably see me get in there and they went in there. So you could just test it out. You can also get in there and you can do a screen share, and you can screen share amongst each other on here. That has that feature that's default by Discord. So anyways, that's to show you the Roku trade. Now, let me show you the Baba trade today. So then we talked Baba up today, right? Let me go to the beginning. Look at Baba. So Baba at 8 o'clock also, if you see right here, here, let me redirect you to the flow. Oh, you are on the flow bot. So if you notice a little bit further down, Baba came out here. And if you would read the trade, you have Baba for May 15th, 175 call. They bought it at 174.82, and this is the contract details for $2.47 million. So what's that tell you? That tells you that he believes that the price is going to be 175 by May. So, and if you reach over to Baba around 8 o'clock, we got into it down here. Oh, let me redirect you again back to the charts. So as you can see, we got into it at 8 o'clock right here. Entry. So if you look at it at the time, let me go ahead and do a replay here. So as you can see, the flows came in for $2.4 million. So we entered into the trade hoping for a spike. But we need to remember that if it's not like a close expiration, then it's going to be considered a swing trade, right? So this one was for May. So next time when we get into these trades, we have to remember that if you're going to commit to a May contract, that's almost 2 months out. So you got to be willing to hold and swing this. You can't expect like a spike right away. So as you can see how it played out, we were waiting, and it looked like it was moving up. See, we got a spike. That was these moments here. We were in profit here, okay? And at each moving average, you can get a potential rejection. You're actually not clearing this trade till you pass 177.30 if you're learning about technical analysis. So you rejected off this line and it just went down, try to rally back up. So we're watching for a minute. At the time, everybody needs a stop loss. So I gave a stop loss, down here. That's where I gave the stop loss. Reason why I gave the stop loss down here is because this was the low of the day. And I gave the target up here, 180. It was either 184 or 183. So I just gave a target here. So this is kind of like how I do like the pre-market high of the day, the low of the day. If we get a good bullish entry, we're hoping that it keeps going up. Sometimes you don't get that. So in this particular Baba trade, I had to set a stop loss. That way I can cover people. And as you can see, end up coming right back down and triggering our stop loss. So we exited this trade. I think this can go a little faster. Yeah. So it the price at the low of the day and ended up coming back up for the rest of the day. And it's crazy. I looked back and I was mad. I was like, man, I just triggered a stop loss. And look at it. It just finished the day higher than what we bought it at. So let's fast forward it to the end. Yeah. So we entered here, and after all that turmoil, it ended up down over here. So I believe that by May, if someone's willing to put $2.4 million into a trade, that's probably going to go up to that. So, but you got to be willing to hold that long. All right. Okay.
So where does where do you see this? I missed the beginning of the meeting. I apologize. But like, where do you find this flow chart where you see large like institutional investors investing?
Okay, great question. So now that I showed you the Flowbot and I showed you how I read the Flowbot in here, I'll show you where all this comes from.
Okay. And where do you access the Flowbot? Again, I missed the beginning of the meeting.
So the Flowbot is accessible above premium chat to platinum members right now.
Okay.
Right. So basically, if you're gonna do the flow by yourself, it's gonna cost you $100 a month for the flow by itself. But you get the whole community of being in Nexus Trading Room. You get all the benefits of the community and everybody's, trades and all that, news updates and all this stuff. Live streams like we're doing now, YouTube
Right.
videos we post. Plus, you get the flow in here. Now you can see it's black and white. I'm gonna show you what the flow really looks like.
Okay.
So can you see the blackboxstocks.com?
Sorry, say that again.
You should be able to see the screen black box right now.
Yep.
Okay. So all the flow is derived from here. Okay. This website is called blackbox.com, blackboxstocks.com. And if you want to subscribe to this, I have a referral link and allows you for $20 off your first month. So before you just go ahead and subscribe, you just message me and I'll send you the link and you get $20 off so you can try it yourself. Okay. And also there's other competitors other than Black Box Stocks. You have Flow Algo and then you have Cheddar Flow, which you see on Twitter a lot if you're on into Twitter. So those are the big three mainstream websites that receive flow, and you can see what's going on and what the institutional investors are buying. So as you can see here, all day long, all the flow comes in. Now, can you guys see this pretty clearly?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see, there's a lot of different color coding here. And you can see there's a lot of white in between. What you're getting into the Nexus Trading Room from the Nexus Flowbot is all the golden sweeps and all the purple sweeps. You're not getting all the white ones in between because the most volume is coming from these golden sweeps and these purple sweeps that's been outlined on the website here. And a lot of stuff comes in. So you have to be able to sift through this. And this is why it's good to have a community of traders that sift through this for you. So if you know that you have a real intensive job where, you cannot, basically you got to be sitting at it. You got to have a desk job. You can't have your boss looking over your shoulder. And the business you work at has got to be able to allow for Black Box to even show up, in the network. It's not blocked. So if you have time to sit here and read flow and, sift through it and develop your plays, then by all means get Black Box. But if you don't have time, don't waste your $100 on this, if for flow that you cannot use, you cannot get on and sit through it. That's why we have a bunch of traders like us that sift through the flow for you. And we try to find the best plays out of this. Of course we missed Zoom today, but I think Iron Hands and it's either, I don't know who else was part of Zoom trade. Iron Hands is either Money Man or Empower or something like that was part of it. But I think Iron Hands was the main one talking about Zoom. So he found that trade today, which we missed in the voice chat, So have you noticed that JM Thor, he also has a subscription, so he posts call flow. So if you ever guys don't want to, spend $100 on Black Box, then you can just request to see the flow from myself, Jack, JM Thor. Also, Thick Squirrel, he has Flow Algo. So you can see a different view of Flow Algo, which is a different type of flow. You can request flow from there, and as a community, we can, see where the different stocks are trading at and what the investors think of. Because honestly, I can just click on Roku here and I click on it and I can see all the flow for the day as it coming in. Now you can see that from the morning time, I'm in Mountain Time. So my day starts at 7:30, which is not 7:30 coming in all the way into close. You can see what the flow was coming in on Roku. And over here in this area, you can see these are 1-minute charts. and you can see that the price just went up the whole time. And although the flow is mixed here, there are more calls than there were puts here from the institutional investors. So the price just kept going. We have pretty much a lot of golden sweeps here. To your right, if you look closely, you can see that there's also more messages that come in on the side here. They talk about price alerts. There's dark pools that come in here too. They have pre-market scans, post-market scans, market scans, volume ratio. There's a lot. There's news. It's linked to stock twits. You can see historical data. You can see volume. If volume comes, open interest. There's a heat map here. I mean, if you come down here, you'll see the most active calls of the day as they're coming in. Apple has had the most active calls. Active puts, bullish flow, bearish flow. You can actually chart here and everything like that. So if you don't want to get on TradingView or TOS, I mean, this also has a charting area as well. So, and if you're a stock trader, you know, there's a stock section here too, where it says all the big stocks that moved, volatility indicator. So, I mean, there's a lot of features on here that you get other than just flow. But me, I just focus on flow here. And that's what I'm worried about. So, and so that's pretty much it. I mean, what we do is what we do is we sift through this flow because we have time. You know, I have like an hour and a half in the morning before I got to go to work. Others got more time to sift through flow. But when I go to work, I'm just looking at our Discord. I'm looking at the Nexus Flow bot, and I'm seeing the flow coming in from there, and I'm checking it out. I'm placing trades based on that. So if you have access to the Nexus Flow bot, you can get in there and you know, first when you see the trades, just don't blindly get into them. Obviously, look at the charts first on your TOS app or whatever app you're looking for, and see if that trade is trending upward or downward according to the flow. So. Takes a little time experience. Make sure you just take your time and you try to figure out and do like a couple back tests without actually using real money. So I think back test is important for learning how to trade and being a versatile trader, which means that you need to be a technical trader. And technical trader is someone who's into technical analysis and is constantly in the charts looking for plays. There's other kinds of traders. You have news traders who trade based on news. You know, they're subscribed to different websites and stuff like that, and basically trade off news, volatility, and everything like that. So, and that's pretty much all I got. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop this recording on talking about flow, and then we'll start another recording with questions and answers.